When you're at your lowest, when life feels like it's crumbling around you, it can seem impossible to see a way out. But what if you could change that in an instant? Because feeling hopeless doesn't have to define your future. It doesn't have to be the end. It can be the beginning of something bigger, something better, but only if you take action now. So the real question is, what will you do when everything feels like it's falling apart? Will you give in or will you rise? Begin with small acts of order. When the world feels like chaos, your first job is to create a microcosm of order. Clean your room, organize your day, establish routine. The smallest act of order pushes back the vastness of despair. You may not control the chaos in the world, but you can control something much closer to home, your corner of it. And when you're feeling hopeless, that's exactly where you start, with what you can fix. It might seem insignificant, making your bed, doing the dishes, sorting your desk, but these small acts of order are not trivial. They're statements. They're declarations that you still believe your actions matter. Why is that so powerful? Because in the face of hopelessness, the lie is that nothing matters, that nothing you do will make a difference. And that's where despair takes root, when your efforts feel meaningless. But when you take a piece of the chaos and bring it into order, you disprove that lie with action. You begin to rebuild your belief in yourself, one small win at a time. Clean your room. It's not just about tidiness, it's symbolic. It means you've taken responsibility for a space. You've decided to act, not because someone told you to, but because you chose to bring structure where there was none. That's where personal power begins. From there, expand. Plan your day. Wake up at the same time. Eat something healthy. Do the thing you've been putting off. These aren't just tasks on a checklist, they're anchors. And the more order you create in your immediate world, the stronger and more capable you feel. The fog of despair begins to lift. And here's the beautiful truth. When you put your own life in order, even just a little, you become someone capable of helping others do the same. Your transformation becomes a light in someone else's darkness. So don't underestimate the power of a clean space, a written plan, a completed task. These are the building blocks of hope. Start small and do it consistently. One act of order today, another tomorrow. Over time, those small victories stack up and suddenly you're no longer the person who's drowning. You're the person building a bridge out of the storm. You don't need to fix the whole world. Just start with your room. From there, you'll find a way forward. Speak the truth even if it's ugly. Hopelessness often arises from lies you tell yourself about your worth, your future, your identity. The antidote isn't comfort, it's truth. Speak it. Seek it. Let it burn through the fog. We often avoid the truth not because we're liars, but because we're afraid of what it will cost us. It's uncomfortable to admit that a relationship is draining us, that we're not living up to our potential, or that our habits are quietly destroying us. But here's the paradox. The very truth we're afraid to face is often the exact thing that will set us free. When you're feeling hopeless, it's easy to build your life around narratives that protect your pain. I'll never be good enough. It's too late. This is just who I am. But those aren't truths. They're defense mechanisms. And the longer you cling to them, the deeper you sink. So what do? You get honest, not cruel, honest. You start by speaking the truth to yourself. I'm overwhelmed because I haven't been disciplined. Or this job is making me miserable. Or I'm staying in this relationship because I'm afraid of being alone. These admissions sting, but that sting is clarity. And clarity is power. Truth is the foundation you build your life on. Lies rot the structure from the inside out. But the truth, even when it hurts, gives you solid ground. It allows you to make real decisions, not just reactive ones. It gives you direction, a compass that points toward meaning instead of illusion. Speaking the truth might ruffle feathers, it might end things that were never right to begin with. But it will also open doors. It will attract people who respect your integrity. It will strengthen your sense of self. And most importantly, it will give you back your voice, the voice you silence to keep the peace or avoid conflict. Start small. Tell the truth in the mirror, in your journal, with someone you trust. Then carry it into your work, your conversations, your decisions. Watch how your life begins to align, not perfectly, but truthfully. And in truth, there is always hope, because when you're rooted in what's real, you can face anything and grow from it. So speak it, even if it shakes you, even if it costs you. The truth might hurt for a moment, but a lie will hurt you forever. Carry the heaviest load you can bear. Your soul craves responsibility, not comfort. When you're in despair, don't run from burden, run toward it. Voluntarily carry something meaningful. That's where you find strength you didn't know you had. When the world feels heavy and the future seems uncertain, one of the most empowering things you can do is narrow your focus to what is within your grasp. You can't change the economy overnight, you can't rewrite the past, you can't force others to behave differently, but you can choose how you show up today, and that choice carries more power than you think. You see, the illusion of control is what keeps us anxious. We obsess over outcomes we can't influence. We dwell on people we can't fix. We replay failures that are already behind us, and slowly we lose sight of where our strength truly lies: in our response. Here's the truth. Your mindset, your habits, your words, your attitude, these are not small things. They are the building blocks of your future. When you choose to take responsibility for your part, even when it feels unfair, you begin to reclaim your agency. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start becoming the architect of your own path. Start small. You can control whether you get up on time. You can control what you consume: food, media, energy. You can control whether you journal, move your body, or speak kindly. These aren't just tasks. They are daily declarations. I am not powerless. This mindset shift doesn't mean you ignore the chaos around you. It means you stop letting it define you. It means when everything outside feels unstable, you become the stable force in your own life, and others will feel it too. You'll become the person who brings calm to a storm, who inspires change just by refusing to be ruled by panic or despair. Life will always offer uncertainty, but inside that uncertainty is a sacred space, the space of your own will, your own discipline, your own power. Protect that space, feed it, trust it, because the moment you focus on what you can control, you'll realize you have more influence than you ever imagined. And that realization, that's where hope begins again. Not out there, but right here, inside of you. Aim higher even if you miss. Hopelessness is often the result of aimlessness. Set a goal, a real one, something difficult, something transformative. Don't worry if it's out of reach. The aiming is what saves you. When you're in a dark place, it's easy to collapse into yourself, to shrink your world down to your pain, your fears, your failures. But one of the most powerful antidotes to hopelessness is reconnecting with something beyond your own immediate struggles. A purpose, a mission, a higher aim. We are not meant to live only for ourselves. Deep down, we long for meaning, to know that our life matters in the lives of others, that our actions ripple out and make a difference. And that meaning is found not in self-obsession, but in service, in contribution, in being useful to something greater than our own survival. This doesn't mean you need to start a charity or lead a revolution. Sometimes purpose looks like showing up for your children, or caring for your aging parents, or doing your job with integrity. It could be mentoring someone, sharing your story, creating something beautiful, or simply listening deeply when someone needs to talk. What matters is that it pulls you forward, that it gives you a reason to get out of bed even when you feel broken. When you anchor yourself in a higher aim, the weight you're carrying doesn't disappear, but it becomes worth carrying. And here's the incredible thing. When you reconnect with purpose, your suffering starts to transform. It becomes the fuel for your growth, the foundation of your empathy. You begin to realize the pain you've endured has shaped you into someone with depth, someone who can help others navigate their own storms. And that realization? That's powerful. That's redemptive. Purpose won't solve everything overnight, but it gives your struggle direction. It turns pain into progress. It reminds you that you're still needed, still valuable, still capable of leaving this world better than you found it. So start asking the deeper questions. What breaks your heart? What ignites your passion? Who can you lift up today, even in a small way? Because when you live for more than yourself, you don't just find meaning, you create it. And in that creation, hopelessness begins to dissolve. Because now you're not just surviving, you're serving, you're growing, you're becoming someone whose life radiates purpose, even through the pain. You are stronger than you think, but only if you act like it. Feeling hopeless doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're human. But you have a choice. You can collapse or you can stand up, straighten your back, and face the dragon. In moments of despair, silence can feel safer than truth. You tell yourself it's easier not to speak up, not to stir the waters, not to admit what you're really feeling. But every time you swallow your truth, a piece of your soul goes with it. You lose a little more of yourself to fear, to shame, to the illusion that hiding is safer than being seen. But it's not, because hiding doesn't protect you, it suffocates you. Speaking honestly, especially when you're broken or lost or afraid, is not weakness. It's courage in its purest form. It's standing in the storm of your own emotions and saying, this is what's real for me. This is what I'm carrying. And that act, however small, is a rebellion against the darkness. You don't need to share everything with everyone, but you do need someone, a trusted friend, a mentor, a therapist, even a journal. You need space to release the pressure that builds when you keep everything locked inside, because the longer you pretend you're okay when you're not, the heavier it gets. And eventually, it crushes you from the inside out. But here's the beauty of honesty. It creates connection. It opens the door for others to say, me too. It invites real healing, not just temporary relief. And over time, your honesty becomes a beacon for others. Proof that it's okay to be human, to struggle, to feel deeply, and still move forward. And don't just be honest with others, be honest with yourself. Stop minimizing your pain or making excuses for what's breaking you. Face it directly, call it by name, because only when you tell the truth about where you are can you begin the journey to where you want to go. Daily life gives you dozens of opportunities to practice this. Say what you mean. Ask for help, set a boundary, apologize when you're wrong, tell someone you love them, own your story. You'll be amazed at how much lighter life becomes when you stop hiding from your own voice, because honesty, even when it hurts, brings clarity, strength, and liberation. Truth isn't just a value, it's a path, and when you walk it, you reclaim your integrity and your power, one honest word at a time. Meaning through responsibility. When everything feels meaningless, it's not because life lacks meaning. It's because you haven't accepted your responsibility to create it. Meaning emerges when you adopt the burden willingly. That's the heroic path. When life feels overwhelming, when despair clouds everything, and the weight of it all makes even breathing feel like a task, that's not the time to overhaul your entire life. That's the time to shrink the battlefield, to narrow your focus, to take your eyes off the mountain and place them squarely on the single step you can take today. Because in the face of chaos, order, even a little bit, is a form of rebellion. A clean corner of your room, a made bed, a to-do list with just one task checked off. These aren't small acts. They are the beginning of transformation. Maybe the world feels too big to fix. Maybe your pain feels too deep to heal, but if you can take 5 minutes to wash the dishes, organize your workspace, go for a walk, or drink a full glass of water, you've asserted something critical, that you still have influence, however small, over your life. And that matters, because every small act of order is a signal to your brain and your soul that you are not helpless, that you still have agency, that you are capable of participating in your own rescue. This isn't about productivity for productivity's sake. It's about reclaiming control in a world that's felt completely out of your hands. It's about building momentum, and once you complete one small task, you're just a little more likely to do another, and another. One day, that clean corner becomes a clean room. That one step becomes a walk around the block. That walk becomes a workout. That single honest conversation becomes deeper relationships. That act of order spreads like ripples, pushing back the tide of chaos with discipline, direction, and dignity. And the beauty of it all? You don't need motivation to start, just willingness. Start where you are, with what you have. Choose one thing, do it well, then do it again tomorrow. Because when you choose order in a world of disorder, you're not just surviving, you're rising. One small step at a time, you become someone who brings light into the darkness, even if it's just your own. Remember, you're the hero of your own story. In every great myth, the hero starts in the abyss, lost, broken, uncertain. That's where you are now, but that's also where the transformation begins. Face the chaos, slay the dragon, rebuild the kingdom. In times of despair, it's easy to fixate on what's missing, the things you've lost, the opportunities you never had, the dreams that seem too far out of reach. But this focus on lack blinds you to the incredible power of gratitude. The act of being grateful isn't just a feel-good practice, it's a radical reorientation of the mind and heart toward abundance, no matter how small it may seem at first. Gratitude doesn't deny the reality of your pain. It doesn't ask you to pretend things are perfect when they're not, but it does force you to acknowledge what is already right in your life. It asks you to look around, take stock of the people, the moments, the resources you do have, and to let them ground you. Start simple. Look at the roof over your head, the food in your fridge, the friendships, even the small ones, that remain, the skills you've developed over the years, the lessons you've learned, even the painful ones. These are not small things. They are gifts, each one a foundation upon which you can rebuild, grow, and move forward. When you choose gratitude, you're choosing to see the world through a lens of possibility, not scarcity. The more you focus on what's good, the more you begin to see all the ways life is working in your favor, even when it seems bleak. The people who care about you, the opportunities that remain, the small victories, like a day where you chose to keep going despite the odds. These are the seeds of strength and renewal. Gratitude also shifts your relationship with challenges. Rather than seeing them as obstacles that are impossible to overcome, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth. A setback becomes a lesson, a failure becomes a redirection, and each day you build resilience by choosing to focus on what you have, not just what you've lost. The power of gratitude isn't just in the moment you feel it, but in the momentum it creates. Every act of thanks builds up a reservoir of strength and perspective that helps you weather storms with greater courage and clarity. So take a moment today, look around you, find something, no matter how small, that you can be thankful for. Let that sense of appreciation remind you that even in the hardest times, there's always something worth holding on to. Gratitude isn't about perfection, it's about recognizing the value of your life right now in its raw, imperfect beauty. Today, we've learned that even in the darkest times, you have the power to change your mindset, to take action, and to reclaim your strength. Feeling hopeless doesn't have to be permanent. It's just a moment, a step in the process. The real answer is you choose whether to stay stuck or rise above. So, when everything feels like it's falling apart, remember you rise not because it's easy, but because it's the only way forward. And when you choose to rise, you transform your life. I want to hear from you. What's one thing you can do today, no matter how small, to break out of hopelessness? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to read them and support you. And if you're ready to take the next step in your journey toward personal strength and resilience, check out the next video in this playlist. It's all about building the mindset that helps you conquer life's toughest challenges. Click here to keep moving forward.